Hi, Jason Canola, GQue Barbecue. Are you a fan of beefy, succulent, tender beef tenderloin and spicy sauces? Today I'm going to show you how to make a beef tenderloin with the Diablo sauce. If you want to see how we do that, it's coming up right now. Here at GQue Barbecue, we are all about the grilling and chilling lifestyle. If that's something that interests you, smash down that subscription button and hit that bell notification and you won't miss any of our videos. If you're looking for that soft, velvety texture, there's no better cut on a cow than the tenderloin. Today we're going to smoke it off in the Weber, going low and slow to ensure we get that bumper to bumper medium rare. We're then going to sear it off in a pan to get a beautiful, flavorful crust. We're going to pair it with a spicy Diablo sauce that's made up of Dijon and horseradish to give it that nice extra kick. The other favorite cut on a cow for a lot of people is the ribeye cap. We did a video a little while ago making a ribeye cap. If you want to see that, go ahead and click that iCard up above. So for today's cook, we're going to be using the Weber kettle. I'm going to also be using the slow and sear to ensure that I get two-zone cooking. We're going to get the fire going by lighting about 10 charcoal briquettes. Once that fire is going, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the briquettes to the slow and sear. These briquettes are from our last cook. No point in throwing them out, so I leave them and push them over to the side before I add the new ones. Since we are cooking at a low temperature today, I'm filling up the reservoir with water. To ensure we cook at a 225-degree temperature, today I'm going to be using this oven thermometer. I'm going to place the tenderloins into the Weber kettle away from the heat when this thing hits 225. I'm also going to use the dampers on the top of the lid. I'm going to open it up if I need to get more heat to come through, and I'm going to lower it if I need to get less heat to come through. I've got the bottom damper halfway open. I'm going to start this guy at about halfway and adjust as needed. We're going to put a hickory strip down so we get that good hickory flavor into the tenderloin. So we've got the tail end of a tenderloin right here. I'm just going to run my knife around and take off any excessive pieces of fat. I've got this huge strip of fat going right down the side of this. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Fold it up so I can cut it up into some beautiful 2-inch steaks. Decent marbling in there. I'm going to salt these steaks. A cut like this loves salt, so don't be shy with it. Go ahead and dab up any extra salt that's on the cutting board. So for these thick cuts, when you're going 2 inches or more, sometimes you need to hold the meat together when you got different muscles that's inside the steak. You can see I got one muscle over here versus this other muscle right here. I want this to cook together, so I'm going to use this band right here to hold it together. And once I got the band, now it's going to cook evenly and cook together, and I'm going to have a beautiful steak. So to ensure I have a nice clean grate before I put the steaks down, I like to take a paper towel with a little bit of oil and clear off any of that remaining char. We're going to go ahead and place our steaks down on the indirect side and let these guys cook at 225 degrees until they reach an internal temperature of 115. So these have been cooking for a little while. They still have a ways to go till they hit our target temperature of 115 degrees. But what I wanted to show you was the difference between using the twine and not. You can see on these pieces where we used it, these are going to be beautiful, nice, thick steaks that are going to hold their shape. The only piece that's not holding its shape, which I'm not at all worried about, is the runt end, the tiny end right here. And I just didn't have any more twine to hold it together. But you can see the difference between using it and not using it. So these steaks have been cooking for a little while. I think they're getting pretty close. Let's take a look. The first thing you're going to notice is we're missing 2 steaks. The other 2 have already reached their target temperature, so we pulled them off. So we're just working with these 2 big daddies. So that was at 124 at its highest spot. About 9 degrees higher than what I wanted it to. So I'm going to be super sensitive and super quick when we sear because I don't want to get it over 135. This one with 120 was its highest spot. So same with this, it's a little bit over but not quite as bad. So quick sear on both of these is going to give us that beautiful crust and also keep that good medium rare interior bumper to bumper throughout. So we still have our 2-zone cooking in place, the cool side over here, the hot side over here. To get that sear, I'm gonna go right here. Since I'm gonna be making a sauce, I'm gonna cook it into a pan so that we can use the residual bits to make that awesome Diablo sauce. In order to get that awesome sear, I'm gonna pat dry both sides of the steaks. We wanna remove all the moisture. That's gonna help us get that beautiful crust. Put that guy right there. That guy right there. I'm also gonna go ahead and hit these with salt and pepper one more time. Here comes the fun part of the cook. We're gonna sear these guys off. Just wanna tell you guys, I've got a hot glove underneath here, and then I've got a nitrile glove on top of that, and that's why I can touch this stainless steel pan. Do not do this at home unless you have a hot glove on underneath here. All right, our oil is hot. This is vegetable oil in here. I can tell because it's shimmering. We want this to be scorching hot. It's over our direct heat right there, so we can get a good, beautiful crust on both of our steaks. We should hear that sizzle when we put it down into the pan. That's exactly what we're going for. In fact, I would even like it a little bit more of a sizzle, but that's still gonna do the job. So we're gonna let these cook just until they get that beautiful color. So I've got the sear that I want on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these steaks and let them rest in foil while I make the Diablo sauce. First thing I'm gonna do is drain off any of that excess grease. We've got these beautiful brown bits that are gonna add some good depth and flavor to our sauce. I'm gonna add the beef broth. I'm gonna cook this over the medium-high heat right here, scraping up all those bits and getting them incorporated into the broth. I'm gonna let this cook for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add the cream. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. 1 tablespoon of horseradish. This is where the Diablo comes from. It's the heat from the cayennes. Pinch of cayenne. If you want it extra spicy, add more cayenne. And I'm gonna whisk this and let this cook until it thickens, probably about 3 to 4 minutes. We're about there right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it from the heat over here to our cool side and add a tablespoon of butter. You don't want to do this over the heat or it could cause the sauce to break. Go ahead and whisk this in. This is going to create a nice buttery, creamy, spicy sauce that's going to pair excellent with the tender, succulent beef tenderloin. So we got our 2 beautifully crusted tenderloins right here. Beautiful, medium rare, bumper to bumper, a little bit off up on this top part, but that's okay because I got this beautiful crust, so I can live with this 1/4 of an inch indentation before we get into our medium rare goodness right here. That delicate, soft, crusty tenderloin tasted so good with that buttery, spicy, creamy Diablo sauce. Guys, if that looked good, if that's something you want to try, give me a thumbs up. Also, click my face over there and you won't miss any of my videos. YouTube has selected the video from me that they think is best for you. To see that, go ahead and click down below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Jason Canola, GQue Barbecue.